Welcome back to The Deep Life. Our guest today is on a mission to change the world by normalizing spirituality, raising consciousness, and empowering others to create clarity by connecting to our own inner wisdom. Teresa, welcome to The Deep Life.
Thank you so much, Dan and Elise. I'm super excited to be here. It feels like we're going to have a lot of fun together.
Yes,
Yeah.
I equally agree. And I feel like those kind of three highlighted words that Dan introduced is so in alignment with our values and kind of what we believe is our purpose or a part of our purpose here during this time. So let's get into
Yeah,
it.
let's just jump right in. But I want to start off by talking about intuition. I know this is something you talk a lot about. So if we can just kind of clarify, like, what is intuition, and then we can jump into why it is so important for us to live our best life.
Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, so I'm going to bring a really simple explanation of what intuition is because I think it's important that people recognize it's not this thing that other people have, and it's not this weird thing, and it's not this scary thing. It's actually a deep part of our inner wisdom that we have a little bit ostracized through social conditioning.
Mhm.
And this has occurred over the last several hundred years. So, intuition is our ability to tap into our soul, our guides, the universe, and receive wisdom that is optimal for our best life, that is optimal for decision making. And we're talking everything from what should I do with my business to should I have another kid to should I get married to should I date this guy to should I take this job or buy this house or move to the city? Literally every single decision we make in our lives can be enhanced and optimized by using our intuition. So the short form is intuition is all of our physical senses enhanced. So your skin is feeling, right? Well, it's the same with empathy. Empathy is feeling as well. We have hearing, seeing, knowing, which is the mind, the brain, right? Smell, taste. So all of our physical senses have an additional layer that we've ignored. So and just like your sense of taste, okay, we'll use that as an example, is 100% unique to you.
Mm.
No two people are going to enjoy the same types of foods, right?
Yeah, it's a great
Your
example.
yeah, your intuition is exactly the same way. Your use of taste as an intuitive gift is unique to you. So let's jump into seeing. So seeing can manifest differently for every single person. For some people, it's when they close their eyes, and some people will have a film, like this black screen in front of their mind's eye, and films of life will play across it
Mm.
that will give them information. Other people, like for me, for example, I less see the films, I more see popped up images.
Mm.
So images will pop up. And
Mm.
that's all with my eyes closed.
Mm.
Other people will use intuitive seeing with their eyes open. They'll see flashes of light, little orbs, or they'll see shadows, or they'll see beings, or they'll see colors. Colors is a big one for people.
Mm.
It's a huge indicator of there's more information for you in this decision than you're currently considering. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the analogy of the tasting and seeing is so beautifully Yes, it's so beautifully interwoven to, yes, we're all unique and have these gifts that are universal, but different for all of us. I think that that's, yes, that completely makes sense. For me, if I close my eyes, I'm trying to cultivate a better sense of my intuition. Like it seems like I'll get flashes of pictures, or just like instant, like a melding of two different pictures that like it makes sense in my mind of a certain like statement or intuitive download that I get, that I like to call it like my higher self or a guide that's speaking to me in that sense.
Yep. 100%. And that's the key, is understanding which of the gifts are your primary, and then how do they manifest for you. So it's really this exploration that, by the way, never ends. Just because you become really, really good at something, like playing the piano, it doesn't mean you stop practicing, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you don't develop nuanced ways of bringing in additional information or new levels of tools. It's the most fascinating exploration that you will ever embark on, because it is wholly, uniquely you.
Mm.
And it just baffles my mind that we don't, as humanity, cultivate this curiosity and utilize these gifts, because so many of the challenges that we face would be mitigated if we would listen to that inner voice, right?
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. All right.
Okay,
Well,
go.
I'm curious. Well, I do want to jump into that, because I think that that's really interesting as a societal level, like how we've been deprogrammed and conditioned to believe, or really not believe, the own innate honesty and truth and divinity within us, and why we look to others to guide us. And that, so we can go there next, but I'm just curious, how did your intuition cultivate and change over the years? You've been doing this for so long. I'm curious, like, how it started and how it's transformed and brought you to where you are now.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm pretty, my path is unique because I was born with all my senses wide open.
Okay.
And it was really hella confusing.
Yeah.
It was like really weird to be, I can remember as young as 12, 18 months lying in the crib saying, "Oh, the world is fascinating and gorgeous and amazing because I'm connecting with all my guides and we're playing and we're having fun and we're conversing."
Mhm.
And then I'd get hungry and I'd communicate telepathically, or I'd send out signals, but nothing would happen.
Mm.
So then I learned, okay, you have to vocalize. Okay, I can vocalize. So I'm going to vocalize and I'm being ignored. And I'm like, what? What? What's going on? What's wrong? This program, I don't like it. Okay, I'm tapping out. I'm going back. No, you know? Or gosh, I can remember being in kindergarten and my teacher lied to me.
Oh.
It was a little white lie, but me being who I was could
Yeah.
feel it and see it.
Mm.
So my trust in the world eroded quickly at a very young age.
I
And
literally just got chills
Mhm.
all over my body.
oh, it was hard. And so it was a matter of my trying to figure out, how do I survive in this world?
Mm.
Because being wide open didn't feel good,
No.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So systematically, I started to diminish my abilities or circumstantially open them when I felt safe. I also had kind of a not great childhood, and um, I don't want to re-traumatize anybody listening, but a lot of things that happened to me that gave me cause for not feeling safe, which when I look back, I understand exactly why they happened. It was so necessary for me to learn compassion and kindness and to be able to meet people who'd been through similar situations. So my intuition was different, and moving into adulthood, I spent 30 years in corporate America. I was everything from an individual contributor to on the executive team running companies. And what I now know is a large part of my success was due to my listening to my intuition.
Wow, yeah.
And it was a huge predictor of what was optimal for my life to unfold. And there were times when my intuition said, it's time to leave. And yet I'd be at the pinnacle of success. I'd just completed this great project. I was doing so well. And when I didn't listen, yeah, those are those 2x4 moments like, smack. We told you to leave. What are you doing? So my relationship with intuition, I think, is a little unique, and I think in other regards, people can identify with it as well.
Fascinating. Yeah.
What was that like, kind of like journey back to kind of reconciling and integrating those gifts and that intuition back into your life? Like, with the whole time you were in, you obviously, there were times when you didn't listen to your intuition while you were working, but there were obviously other times when you did. Like, was it a long process? Did it take you a while to realize what was happening? Or did you always know that you could kind of go back to that?
I always knew it. It was always like this, the most comfortable blanket that you've got on the couch that I could just wrap around me and go, okay, I'm safe. I'm seen. I'm held. And I'll get up in the morning and I'll go do human life again for another day.
So you never really lost track of like who you really are.
No, I never really
beautiful.
did. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's so exciting. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I was just curious for myself. I think the audience is curious as well, because at such a young age, I mean, gosh, a year, that's just absolutely tremendous. I feel like I'm trying to cultivate more of the intuitive, aspects of the being that I am. And, I'm 37. I've gotten a lot of glimpse over it, like for the past few years, but nothing that I can remember that stood out as, childhood. And I do for a little bit have, tried to understand this. Now we can maybe bring it full circle to perhaps why this is not commonly talked about, or people are thought of as, wait, you hear voices in your head, or wait, you see things, like what's going on? I certainly don't speak to a lot of people like when I hear something, if I'm guided in any sense other than like Dan, and I've met a lot of people over the past year or two which I know are coming into my reality as a way, and they understand because they're also on this spiritual journey. And they won't think I'm crazy, or at least I hope not, maybe in some sense. But I'm curious, yeah, why do you think, and like, where did this stem from? Like, our innate ability to understand the depths of who we are, and then channel and be able to see things, be able to feel things at such a sentient level. That's who we are. We're sentient beings at the core of it. And you so beautifully have stated this. This is really coming up for us recently, like to actually feel what's required to feel for our soul's evolution here, as opposed to the egoic nature that's so much tied to stories and doing. Like, where can we revert back to like actually sit and harmoniously tap into the senses that were gifted to us to experience 3D reality?
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, for hundreds of years, we have been programmed. to follow a very specific path, and it's very mind and mental centered, and it's all about control and manipulation to ensure that we stay safe as a society. So coming out of the Industrial Revolution, well, we're going to processize everything, and you're going to fit into all these little boxes. And religion has also played its role, and in providing very prescriptive ways in which we can interact with God, the universe. So what I know and what's been shared with me by one of the councils that I work with, they're a group of star seeds whose primary mandate is to assist humans in changing systems on the planet, whether it's social, economical, food systems, how we take care of each other, community-based systems. And there's a couple of things happening. Number one, the planet's evolving, as evidenced by the tremendous amount of solar flares and electromagnetic energy happening on the planet. And the Earth is, everything's energy. The Earth is her own being. And for me, she identifies very strongly in the feminine. And she's ready to grow. And let me characterize this. This isn't changing the construct of the physicality. This is advancing the vibration. So, and I'm going to bring this back to something that is somewhat controversial, but we are moving into a different dimension. We are moving to the fifth dimension, but it doesn't mean we're going to pack our bags and leave. It means that we're shifting our vibration so that things like intuition, things like the Earth evolving into a more symbiotic generative system that is self-caring and self-resourced is able to manifest. And that includes us. So our opportunity is to raise our vibration, become more self-resourced, have a different relationship with self-care. And once that has been firmly anchored in the being, then it is expanded out into the environment, right? Then we vibrate it out. When we vibrate it out, we allow others to entrain to that vibratory signature, and they get to grow and evolve too. And we have two mandates as humans on this planet. The first is to self-evolve. And the second is to step into your purpose on this planet. And everybody has a unique one. So it's discovering what is it that your vibration wants to radiate into the world, whether it's the doing or not, because ultimately our purpose is tied to our being, not necessarily our doing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Which is a hard one for us to wrap our heads around, because that's not what we're taught.
Hard. And yes. Let's definitely, I'm sure we'll touch upon that at some point, and perhaps maybe a part of the channel message that might come through, because I could not agree more. And one of the I briefly spoke about, like, I get small intuitive downloads every once in a while too. This has maybe happened over like the past 3 years. And one that continuously has come up for me the past year and a half is there's nothing to do but be.
Yeah.
And it grows on me every single time I bring it to my awareness. The depth of understanding and witnessing of it is integrating each time into my being. I feel it as a gnosis as opposed to the knowledge of it. And I get it each and every time. However, it's challenging. That ego of me, that part that thinks is separate, is like, no, there are dishes to be washed, there's things to be done. Like, all right, you want to do nothing, just go for a walk. At least that's nothing, but you're doing something. It is a hard thing to wrap my head around, and I don't think I'm the only one. Or hopefully
No,
not.
all of us have that challenge because there's been, I call it living by default. We have been programmed to do.
Mhm.
Yes.
And if you sit down, if you go within, you're lazy, you're unfocused, you have ADHD, then they start applying all the letters to us, right? So being is hard. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially what I've come to realize for myself over the past, year, specifically the past few months, it's hard to be when you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure that out, as you have so beautifully laid out, and how we're all told who to be and what to do,
Yeah.
how to live, where to go to school, what to eat, what religion. Then you get married and you have a family and kids, and then you work, and then you work and work and work, and you go on vacation once in a while, then you retire, and it's like, but is that it? That can't be it, right? And I'm trying to uncover or delayer or open those onion pieces that I know, like the core of me, the actual being, the soul within me that's derived from spirit, that I want to be able to almost cultivate that frequency. Like I know that it's here and it wants to birth something into this world so beautifully. It's just like I've got to get out of my own way. And I'm figuring out how to do that.
And it's so counter to what we've been taught, like you said. And I will say that at every moment of every day, your guides, your soul, and the universe are sending you messages and signals so that you can begin to unveil your path. Now, it doesn't mean you won't have a job, or it doesn't mean you won't maybe do some more traditional, what I would consider a traditional path. As long as it feels authentic to you. And in 2022, I downloaded a course called The Alchemy of an Intentional Life. It's a 6-month class that I run in March and September, and it's you have to apply to be in. It's very you have to have at least a foundation of understanding of what spirituality is and intuition. And there are ways to learn what your purpose is. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, that doesn't make any sense," but it does. If you look at your values, like the ones from in here, the ones that are immutable, like kindness for me is an immutable value. If you are mean, I'm going to call your ass. Oh, I'm going to call you out. Okay, good. I'm going to call you out because that's not okay in my world. Collaboration. Success is greater when you collaborate. How can I support your success? Because your success vibrating out into the world is my success. So I don't believe in competition. I don't believe it's necessary. I also don't believe, and I do a lot of executive and small to medium-sized business coaching. I also don't believe that profits should be an objective.
Yeah.
I believe they should be an outcome from doing something exceptionally well.
Yes, that's a lovely way to put it. Yes.
Yeah. So finding your values, understanding what you want to see in the world. What's important to you? And then going within and understanding your unique brilliance. What is it that you do that is so effortless and easy that it enriches the lives of others when you step into it? Right?
Yeah.
Just saying it like it feels good, like to listen to that as a resonance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine if we all lived from that brilliance within? It's a game changer. And it gives implicit permission for the people you interact with to do the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So there are ways to find your purpose. There are ways to learn. Oh, and let me back up because there's something I want to say about brilliance. For those who are taking notes and are going to go do this, do it. I encourage you to. That's why I'm sharing it. Ask other people what your brilliance is. Ask your kids, ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your grandparents. We don't see what we do naturally well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right?
I love it. It's so good. Yes.
I feel like on value, like there's such a level of unlearning that so many of us need to do, because in my experience, I think most of us don't know what our actual values are, or don't know how to differentiate between our own true values and the values we've been given or that we've kind of absorbed along the way.
Yes. Yeah. And that's for me, the way I look at it is one is values and one is beliefs that we've inherited, right? So what are the beliefs that we've inherited that we kind of go, actually, no, that's wrong. I actually don't like that. That doesn't feel good in me. And that's the litmus test, right? How does it feel in you?
Yes.
Do you say a value? Do you say love or kindness or compassion or adventure? That's one of my favorites. I love adventure. Put me on a plane and let's go discover shit. So what is it that when you say the word out loud, the vibration of the word hits your field and your physical being and goes, yes, I want that. There's your value.
Yeah, that's a good test.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I feel like I want to get into this because this was really interesting, and you mentioned it very briefly when you began talking about how your, intuition started at such a young age. Obviously, cultivating and understanding our intuition is going to help us live a higher life, more in alignment with our soul's purpose. And we can get into that a little bit, but you use this beautiful phrase when you touched upon something that we could possibly talk about on the show. And Dan and I talk about this all the time, that life is happening for us, not to us. And there is such a big distinction. And the reason why I caught it is when you were saying your childhood maybe wasn't perhaps great, but bird's eye view, after how many years or decades, you're able to understand, oh, it was perfect and it was happening for me and for my evolution and ascension process here, and I understand it. It's just when we're in it, we typically don't. And I've had an experience that was really recent where I'm able to take a bird's eye view and be like, okay, I get it now. It fucking sucked, but I get it. But so life is always helping us and directing us. So I want to hear from you how that merges with the intuition when we're able to possibly tap into it more, and how we can sustain a different perspective as this beautiful, okay, life is happening, for me, not to me, in getting stuck within perhaps that victim mentality that so many of us are.
Yeah. You are so awesome, Elise, because that is one of my favorite concepts is life happens for you. It doesn't happen to you. And here are 3 things that I'm going to offer that you lean into when shit happens. Number one, be patient. I know that's my least favorite.
Okay. And I love how it's the first.
I am not a patient person. But when we're patient, it evolves into where it is meant to go, which is usually it figures itself out and untangles. And when it untangles, so does that internal strife. And we begin to gain perceptions that we couldn't hold when we were deep in it. So patience, neutrality, be neutral. Don't judge. Just know that it's all going to work out. If you're meant to go through this, there's a reason. Just stay neutral. And the third one is curiosity. Be curious. Like, ask questions, talk about it, share it with like-minded people, not with everybody. Be selective on who you get feedback from. But be curious, because if it's happening for you, there's this tremendous nugget of wisdom that is waiting to unfold within you so that you can be greater than you were the moment before it happened.
So, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, the universe really does bring things to you for your benefit. And sometimes those things are hard.
Yes.
And the thing about the human experience is we're here to embrace the hard and the easy and the love and the conflict. We live in a duality system.
Yeah.
And it's through the challenges that we get wiser and kinder and more, hopefully. Some people don't. Some people go down the rabbit hole and they're like, fuck the whole world. This shit's just happening to me. And they stay in victim energy. And, you know, when you run into those people, I ran into somebody like this today when I was walking the dog at the park. And you just kind of feel sad for them.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so and you hold the space for other possibilities. You don't get mad at them, you don't other them. You hold the space for possibilities in their life to bring them into a space of love and kindness for themselves. Because ultimately that's what we're here to do. And that's, you mentioned this a couple of times and I wanted to speak to it. Ego isn't bad. It's a tool, right? It's a tool for us to filter beliefs and perceptions that were given to us. And when we can befriend our ego and make it our ally, then that phrase, life happens for me, becomes a way of life. Yeah.
It's such a more empowering way to live.
So much more.
What's funny, I feel like it's a paradox. Everybody's trying to control their lives, but giving the control to everybody else.
Yes.
I mean, I will raise my hand. I'm a recovering person who experienced a lot of control. I catch myself doing it kind of like, I've just brought awareness to it. I kind of laugh and it's my attempt to stay safe, but it unfortunately typically doesn't work out in those ways. And then I'm, hit with that cosmic 2x4 and realigned. And it's like, okay, you've got this. I will just allow you to show me.
Yes. Well stated. I love that.
I also work as a fitness coach. So I love the analogy of like people ask that people like they want to become stronger.
Yeah.
And the way to get stronger is by like adding more weight to the bar and lifting something that's heavier. And if it wasn't difficult, then you wouldn't build that strength. And I think so many of us, I know I've been guilty of this for a long time. Like we ask to transform, we ask to grow and evolve, and then we get challenges, and it's like, well, why is this happening? It's like what you so beautifully said. It's like so we can be stronger than we were the moment before it started.
Yep. Yeah. Well said. I love that. And you're 100% right. We ask to grow and learn, and then we're given opportunities to do that. And then we just get mad.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
what the
it's
fuck?
hilarious.
Yes, I also giggled when I love these kind of you call them three ingredients for transforming. I absolutely love them. I think that they're just a beautiful culmination, patience, neutrality, curiosity. I love it. I think that I'm going to bring that into my everyday life for sure, as patience is something that I've received a lot of guidance and synchronicities. And I was in a hypnosis session and my higher self had come in, and the facilitator asked, like, what's the one thing that Elise needs right now? And it was like, she knows it's patience.
Uh,
But why? But why? Because I like it's part of that nature, and I'm dissolving that part of my ego that feels it requires to be in control for the safety. And now I'm realizing, and I understand this, the slower I go,
yeah.
the better things are. It's a better understanding. And it's also it's a beautiful place to be. I think patience allows for neutrality and curiosity kind of simultaneously. And typically, I'm curious where you feel this fits in. The highest times that I feel so connected to, source, spirit, God, the universe, like whatever you'd like to call it in your vocabulary, is the present moment, like void of anything. Meaning, like stories. Typically, we relate to life through the stories that our ego has given us at such a young age. That's how it knows. It thinks it's separate. But I love, I'm sure you're familiar with Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
His
Yep.
meditations, like I've tried to describe this as a feeling like he guides you to just sit in silence in that blackness of the void. And for myself, I mean, I feel things there that I've never felt here on this earth with my senses and things. And it's like, how can I be hysterically crying, but yet so joyous with my eyes closed, seeing absolutely nothing and just being prompted to feel certain things? And I think that that's the vertical ascension. The past and the future are linear. The future hasn't even happened, even we're trying to figure it out. And the past is just our perspective of it. It's just each one of our perspectives of something that's happened. And so I feel like that present moment is perhaps where I don't even know if I'm receiving any guidance, but I'm at least allowing the channel to be open. And I'm curious if that is a part of this cultivation of the intuition.
It really is. And I'm going to draw an analogy that works for me. Time is actually a spiral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can tap into present, past, future. You can tap into anything.
Yeah.
You just have to open your perception and receive it and trust that you're getting the right stuff. And that's a whole other conversation. And when you describe moving into the void, that is dissolving anything that is in your path that is not of the universe. And what I mean by that is you've thinned the veils and merged with all that is.
Mm.
And for me, that is the most pure essence. And I think Joe Dispenza has a gift of taking people there like nobody else. It's just, it's miraculous. For me, I call it joytitude. For me, it's a combination of joy and gratitude. And when I move into that place, I start crying. I mean, just not like sobbing, but I have tears come out of my eyes because I'm in that place where I'm doing what I'm meant to do on this planet.
Mm.
And there's no filters and there's no layers that I have to go through. It's just pure channeled source.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
it's amazing. And do you know, I find that I can drop into it when I channel, but also when I'm present with somebody else and they're sharing authentically and there's that connection
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes.
that just opens up and all of a sudden it's just this singularity of energy.
Yes. Yeah.
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 The flow of energy, the frequencies that are matching at
Yep.
whatever wavelength. That's yes.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
like we're all portals for each other to get there in a way.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Dan. I love that. Portals for each other. Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Yes.
You can have that.
No, we'll share it.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, he comes up with one-liners that are really good every once in a while.
Every
Yeah.
once in a while. I'm used.
Yeah, that was good. I love it.
No, he is
Yeah.
wonderful. You had talked, let's kind of maybe dive into the divine feminine, if you don't mind, as that maybe emerges. And
Yeah.
it is something, it's well, it's not a coincidence. Actually, I don't believe in coincidences, but Dan and I have been talking about our values and roles within our relationship a lot. And as I'm trying to step more into the feminine, I certainly, like I described, as someone who felt very much tied to masculinity, like doing, performing, needed to get accolades, like very, left-brained. But I can feel somewhat of a gentleness trying to emerge, something like a feeling that wants to come through. Like I don't know how to describe it other than prior to maybe like a year ago, a year and a half ago, I didn't want to feel anything. I was almost like felt too unsafe within my body to actually experience what life here, I believe, wants to experience through me. So I was like pushing it down and just trying to do. And I feel like I just completely shot my nervous system and kind of hit by that cosmic 2x4 again, saying, no, there's nothing to do but be. So let's cultivate this. Like, let's allow this divine feminine energy to begin. I'm not sure if it's like coming out or if it's coming in. You can probably give me better terminology or vernacular.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to what, yes, you have to say about it. I also want the listeners to know that when we say feminine energy, this has nothing to do with like female body. Like we're talking about energies like masculine and feminine. They're energetic qualities, whether you're in a, or how you identify yourself as a female or male. Like there is a balance within each of us, within each of our souls, that harmoniously is trying to co-create,
Yep.
if I'm explaining that. But right, like it doesn't matter whether you're female, male, we want the balance. And is the balance even 50-50? I've heard that it needs to kind of, it seesaws between, 70-30 or 60-40, because you want that ebb and flow. If you're at 50, then the scales are balanced. You're not moving. You want the ebb and flow. So, Dan could have 70% masculine, 30% feminine. I could be vice versa in whatever way that may be.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. It does flow and it's not static and it's circumstantial. So it depends on what's going on in your life as to how you use the tools. And like you said, I'm like you. I was raised to be in control, to manage, to lead, to be decisive, to be very masculine presenting in how I manifest in the world. It's
Mm.
why I was successful in business, because our traditional business is modeled off of the imbalanced masculine. So it's so far into the masculine of control, manipulate. And the divine feminine is no less strong. So first of all, they are equal in abilities. They just do things differently. So a masculine energy will have more of an electric, creator energy, whereas the divine feminine steps into the magnetic creator energy. So your divine feminine opens, declares this is so, and receives it.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of it like that. Yes,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And the divine masculine says, it is so, I will create it.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Oh my gosh. That I don't know if it just resonates or maybe I again like get it at a deeper level. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you for bringing that to the attention and bringing that energy here. Because of course I went on a little tangent and what I was what I was trying to how I started the little like jaunt there was Dan and I in our relationship. Like I felt he's very masculine, as you can tell, like obviously like physically, but like very masculine. He like everything, like he's a leader, he's a coach, like he has this innate ability. But I also so we would butt heads a lot, like, no, do this, do that, do this. And I would try to control him and like almost make him wrong in a sense. And obviously he knows this. We've had lots of conversations and I feel like I just got it like one day, like I said, after years and years, it was this, no, like you can now step into your divine feminine role within this relationship. Once you cultivate it and understand what that means to you, then you can bring it into the relationship. And we're kind of trying to play with that because we're used to two very masculine forces within our dynamic. So it's like, he has an idea and I'm like, okay, great. Tell me about it. But let's just sit, let's be with it. Like I try to, as much as I'm beginning to understand and cultivate the feelings within me and more empathy and like actually digging into them and allowing them, giving it grace, giving compassion, I'm at least hopefully opening up that energetic channel for him to express that way. And so there isn't more of a combative nature, it's more of harmonious and like, yes, okay, share with me. I'm going to allow this lovingly open space as opposed to, no, you're doing it wrong, do it my way.
Yeah. Yeah. And our responses and our reactions say everything about us.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the other person. It is 100% us. And when we step into the divine feminine, there's so much more collaboration, cooperation, community. There's this sense of, I see you in your authenticity, and here's what is truth for me. Here's what is truth for you. And the two truths meet. And then you go into the neutrality, the patience, the curiosity to co-create something that's even greater than what was both brought to the table. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
1000%. Yes. Thank you for bringing that. I think that for sure was for Dan and I know the listeners will get a lot out of it too, but yes, thank you for that terminology and the wise words. And yes, your wisdom on that, because that is extremely helpful and hits and resonates for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's magical when you're able to do that, because that is vibrating at the fifth dimensional level. Because you're eliminating the othering.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's not about the other or I'm right or judgment. It's about, this is my brilliance. Here's my brilliance. Let's bring them together and create a brighter star.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the othering. It's eliminating the othering. Does that make sense?
It does.
Very
Yes.
much, yeah.
Yeah, because we tend to, or at least for myself, would always want to say, well, life would be different if they would act a different way, or if they gave a different outcome, or if someone did something different. But exactly, I'm just understanding this through the perception that I'm looking at, which is really the internal view that I have of myself.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So no,
Yeah.
yes, understanding the brilliance, the genius, the divinity that's within us. I love the terminology that you're using. It does. It makes so much sense.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to actually ask about like your channeling,
Mm.
because you had mentioned earlier that you channel 3 different
Councils.
councils. Sorry, and I'm just kind of curious, like who they are and how this came about and how long you've been doing it.
Great question. So I've been doing it for about 4 years, and it came about the deeper I got into my purpose. So the three councils that I channel are the 99. They're my primary group that I channel, and they are here to help with the evolution of humanity, which is my primary purpose on this planet, is to help people evolve, whether it's through conversations. So this conversation we're having is rife with transmissions and vibrations that people will feel and hear here on the other level and integrate for their own evolution. So it's not only the words, but it's how you absorb the words into your beingness. And so that's a big part of what the 99 does. Excuse me. And then the second group that I channel is the divine feminine. And that, like we talked about a minute ago, is all about bringing in a more balanced form of divine feminine throughout the world. You know, whether it's, I think though, so I live in Seattle and we have a huge homeless problem. Like freaking shame on us, right? Shame on us. In a world where the divine feminine is balanced, nobody would be without a home. Nobody would be without food. Children would be cared for and not unsafe. So the divine feminine is about bringing cooperation, collaboration, community. It's solving issues at the community level. And so I bring in that vibration and the information that this divine feminine council wants us to embrace. The third group that I channel is called the Starseeds, and they're represented by a being called Eli. And their mandate is to help people, help humans evolve our systems. Political, social, economical, community. We are going to see, excuse me, over the, my voice is getting sore, over the coming years, that systems are going to be able to begin to break down, and we're not going to fix them, we're going to replace them. You know, a good example would be food sources and regenerative farming.
Yeah.
And more local based farms feeding the community that they're around.
Yeah.
Rather than sending things 5,000 miles and
Yes.
trying to preserve them with chemicals and all those things, taking the fluoride out of our water, just
Yeah.
giving us really good, healthy foods.
Mm.
So, and the political system is another one. And we won't get political here, but you know, what is a good way for us to regulate our community, right?
Mm.
Because every single community is different. It has different needs. So it should be done at a local level. It
Mm.
should be done by people who are invested in that community's thriving. So there's a lot of things that we'll see evolve over the coming years. And again, this is a reflection of what's happening with Earth. She's evolving and she's no longer going to tolerate what we're doing.
Good for her.
Right.
Right? I
I mean,
agree.
really, she brought us here. We're here. We're part of her, and we're just effing shit up. Like, I
Yep.
mean, again, for our evolution, like it was necessary. She probably understood and knew that. So it's beautiful. Life is happening for us and for her. But yeah, it is sad, and there has been some horrible and horrific things that we've done to our planet. But it's very encouraging to hear that. Do channeling these three councils, do they kind of overlap at all within the messages that you've received from them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'll sync up. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that. That's wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
Teresa, we want to give you the opportunity if any of them would like to come forth as we're wrapping up here. I knew that we were going to have a lovely conversation, but I also want to make sure that we give you the opportunity, regardless if you'd like to channel or not, but also if there's anything on your heart that you feel is important for our listeners or for us that we didn't cover today.
You know, I think the most important message that we didn't say overtly is you're here for a reason.
Mm.
You are so important to the evolution of this planet because you are here on this planet.
Mm.
There's no mistakes. You're amazing. You're incredible. You're beautiful. Hear that, feel that, believe that, and allow yourself to live from that because the world needs you. It really, really does. You are important. And the more that you embrace that within yourself, the better we'll make this world.
Mhm.
I am so excited because I can feel the energy of one of the councils tapping on my awareness. So let me jump in, or let them jump in, is I guess a better way to say this.
Great.
And we are the divine feminine. We are the goddesses who bring to you the energy of the divine feminine.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It is our honor. And indeed, we thank you for making this energy available across the planet, for it is necessary and vital to spread awareness of what is available to human beings at this time. There's a great circulation of love and ability that is opening, and we encourage those who feel this yearning in their heart, this gentle tugging, to heed the call. You are all masters. You are all divine beings. And it is time now to tap in to that divinity, Embrace your divinity. And it is not a destination, it is a journey. It is a journey of heart opening, of connection, of collaboration, of love, of community. Community is such a fascinating topic for us as we come out of Teresa's trust circle. This community shows up to support the evolution of each other. And it is the greatness of the individual that is the compelling reason why this community gathers. Are they all on the same stage of their evolutionary path? Indeed, they are not. They are on many, many stages, every one unique and special and vibrant. And with this, they come in with questions and inquiries because they have learned that they have the courage and the fortitude to ask the question, to receive the answer, and then to indeed take the step towards realizing that part of themselves that wants to be birthed, that wants to be realized, that wants to be expressed. This is truly the purpose of being a human. The evolutionary path towards divinity. And for those who've taken up the call and come to the planet and said, yes, yes, I will embody a human suit. And yes, I will embrace and step into and through each experience that comes into my world. We hold you in great reverence and love. What you do is a tremendous gift. And it is not only in favor of your own evolution. Know that what you do influences every single living thing on this planet. Do you see how powerful you are? Do you understand the great influence you have on all that is? What do you need? What do you want? What do you invite? What will you receive in support of your evolutionary path towards divinity? Close your eyes. Feel the resonance of energy as it pulses through this very recording. Feel it. Receive it. Energy does not know time or space. Whether you listen tomorrow or in 10 years, the energy is still as vibrant and, in fact, may even be more powerful. What does your heart yearn for? What does your heart call you to? Now trust the answer. Trust the answer and know that your guides, your teams, your soul, the very universe will conspire to bring to you the people, places, things, and experiences that support this vision that you hold within your heart. And even if you cannot name it or put boundaries upon it, if you feel it, that is all that is needed. It does not require a definition. Your feelings Your feelings will be the fuel that propels you forward. We love you. And we, the divine feminine, the sisterhood of light, are here to support your journey. And now we shall cede the stage. Well, that was quite enlightening. This is the 99, and we would like to jump in. We have a few things we would like to share. And yes, we know we're much more charming, much more forward. We are here to bring to you the energies of resilience, the energies of perpetual motion, moving forward at every moment of your human life. For indeed, you do not stop. Even when you are sleeping, you are doing something that supports the evolution of your being as your heart holds. And we honor our divine feminine sisterhood, and we love what they have shared. This is a council of very powerful feminine energy beings who are here to fill that heart, help you to access that which wants to be felt within you. And we here are for your evolutionary steps. What is it that wants to be expressed through you? And how do you want to move forward? Pay attention. Pay attention, because we come to you with information continuously throughout your day. If your attention is drawn to a thing, if your attention is drawn to a color, your attention is drawn to an animal, then indeed that is what we want you to focus on, for there is a message in that which we draw your attention to. It is quite fun and playful for us to bring to you that which supports the execution of your evolution. That includes wisdom, that includes actions, that includes messages, that includes helping you to foster a deeper connection with your intuition, for indeed that is how we communicate with you. We nudge you in the shoulder and say, look there. We move your body with your permission, because it is free will and we cannot do anything to you, and have you walk in a direction that will take you into that which is yours to see and experience. When you pay attention and move out of the busyness of your day-to-day lives, that which wants to be known shows up. Your job, pay attention and receive it. Pay attention and receive it. Open your energy. Allow your awareness to become curious, and then receive that which wants to be known by you. As you receive this information, you observe what you are receiving. Does it align with what is in your heart? Does it align with what is in your intention? Heart and intention are powerful tools for manifestation. So you observe. Then you align your energy with that which you have received, and you say, I love this, this, and this of what I've received, but I want a little bit more of that. I want a little more of that. So you then play with us in the energy. We co-create together something new and different, and you release that into the world. This is a technique that we taught Teresa back several years ago. Open, allow, receive. Observe, align, release. This is the manifestation technique. This is how to dance with the universe and create the life you want. Because your knowing is primarily comprised of your mind, past experiences, and present experiences and that which you can predict into the future. We have access to infinite databases of information that comes from the universe. It is open. Now, do you have access to those databases of the universe? Absolutely. Do you check in with them? Not very much. And that's okay. We're here to help you evolve your intuition so that you can tap into those databases more and more. And until you become the adept at receiving the information from the universe, we will bring to you the information that is optimal for your journey. And you, being the human that you are, have free will and can choose that which you want. It's quite simple, don't you think? Yes, yes. We know we're very different from the divine feminine. We're just a little more pushy, I think.
Helpful.
We're also much more charming. Do you have questions for us?
Too many. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that wisdom that you've shared. There's so much in this world that's tied to doing as opposed to being. Being for me is sitting within that intuition and allowing myself to become present in the moment where I do feel that intuition can be embodied in myself. The question really is for us as a collective, how can we calm and allow the busyness to dissipate, to receive the actual messages that are trying to come through to help us, like you're saying, that you're giving us to evolve?
Well, that becomes a choice. You can, you should, you could. It's a choice. Do I want to receive information about this current circumstance? And then if you say yes, you open to receive it. It really is as simple as that, and yet humans make it so complicated. And as for the busyness, doing is like everything else on this planet. There is a spectrum. There is the busy doing that just keeps you distracted so you don't have to look inside yourself. So you don't have to pay attention to the noises and the information that are coming out over here. Just do. And there's the doing that is aligned. There's the doing that says, this is compelling me. This is pulling me forward. This makes my heart burst with joy and happiness. This makes me feel deeper levels of love. This I know to be my optimal next step. I may not know where it is leading me, but I trust and I know that this is the direction I am meant to go. So where are you on the spectrum of doing? Even when the doing is the distracted doing, can you stop yourself in the moment and say, I am distracted. Why? Why? Why am I distracted with the busy doing? And then you look inside and you ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Do I feel sad? Do I feel unworthy? Do I feel conflicted? Typically, when we are on the busyness doing part of the doing spectrum, it is because there's something that wants to be seen. And yet humans don't want to see it. They are choosing to ignore it. And often that which we are ignoring isn't even true. It is a falsity.
Yes.
And yet if we stopped to look at that false information, and we embraced it and said, tell me the wisdom you have for me to grow and evolve. What is it you are trying to teach me? What is it you wish me to know? Then it can dissipate, because it is no longer unworthiness. It is, I heard something that made me think of the time that my dad screamed at me because he was angry because I broke the dish. And I felt bad. And from that, I am no longer worthy. Is that true? No, it is not. So, where are you on the spectrum of doing, and what is most compelling to be known?
Thank you for that answer.
I have a question. So often with these stories of unworthiness, even when we know that they're not true, they can be so difficult to let go of and move beyond. How can we do that?
That is an excellent question, because everything that comes into your life is for you. You designed it prior to birth, or you called it in as a human in this life saying, I still need to learn a little bit more about compassion. So let's feel unworthy. Everything that comes to you is for you. And when we can step into that feeling, embrace ourselves, love, feel reverence for that tiny being who had that experience, or for that adult who feels that way. Love yourself. And if that is not enough, find someone who can love you, hold you, see you, receive you without judgment. Rare individuals, those are, but they are out there. Then you get to move through and experience the release of that program. Will it reoccur? Absolutely. And for some, it will reoccur for the rest of their lives, because their great contribution to the planet is to embody self-compassion. And their very beingness carries the resonance of that the more that they do it. And just by virtue of their energetic signature, they teach, they influence, they influence, they influence, they influence. Have you ever walked into a room and somebody drew your eye and you just felt good? You just knew they were a good person. This is the being.
Thank you.
You are Fun 99. Thank you for joining us.
It is our pleasure.
Teresa. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. I cannot express the reverence and gratitude. Even though this is obviously through technology, we are taping this on Zoom, both of their energies, the divine feminine and the 99, came through so palpable for me. Like I was fighting back tears when the divine feminine was, I think I like wiped a tear. Just absolutely peaceful, gorgeous energy as they spoke. It was beautiful. And then the 99 came in and they were fun. It was like, then the energy, I felt it, my body like lifted a little bit. I stood up a little bit more and I was like, okay, this is, but both was,
Yeah,
it's
so
hard to
interesting.
describe.
When the moment the divine feminine came through, I felt like my heart was just buzzing.
Yes.
It was really, really powerful through my heart. And then
Yeah.
the 99 came in, it was my whole body was buzzing. It was a very different feeling, but full of like really high energy. It's so interesting to experience that shift so quickly.
Yeah. It's so fascinating for me to carry the energy, and I have to listen back because I know as I was bringing it through, there's like, oh, that's good. Oh, they've never said that. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. So I'm gonna have to listen back and figure out all the different things they said.
That's beautiful.
Such a beautiful way to end that. Thank you so much.
You're so
That was
welcome.
incredible. That was absolutely beautiful. Teresa, we've got some links that we're going to share within like the show notes, your website and anything, but anywhere else that you'd like us to direct people that maybe you didn't give us a heads up on?
I think the two things that I'd like to offer the audience, one is the 6-month program that I have, The Alchemy of an Intentional Life, begins in March and September. And the second one is a free resource. Every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, I have a open trust circle. Anybody can show up. Anybody can participate. You can be on camera, off camera. There are people from all over the world who come, and it's there to help us evolve. And it's free. So,
oh my
come.
gosh, that's
That's great.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
It's,
so how do we get access to that?
yeah, if you go to my website, teresawornstaff.com,
Okay.
just sign up and I'll send you the link.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's easy
Amazing.
enough.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Teresa, we thank you. Thank you for being
Thank you
you.
so much.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for giving us all these words of wisdom, how to cultivate the intuition within us and how to hopefully live a little bit more gracefully and in tune with our purposes here.
Thank you, Dan and Elise. This has been amazing.